There is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. There is evidence to support a conclusion that any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position or in the position of those with whom she was corresponding about those matters should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation. We also assess that Secretary Clinton's use of a personal email domain was both known by a large number of people and readily apparent.
So he didn't really find necessarily that she hadn't committed a crime. He just said that he didn't think it was a crime that should be prosecuted, which is a different matter entirely and goes well beyond what one might have expected an FBI director to recommend to the department, perhaps, or to say publicly, which makes this whole procedure today more than a little unusual, Megan, because if you think about it, if he didn't think it was worth prosecuting, all he had to do, when you think about it, is simply turn over his findings to the Department of Justice and leave it to the Department of Justice to make what he described as a prosecutive decision. He declined to do that. In fact, I think what he probably thought, Megan, was that if he did that, there wasn't any chance that the department would bring charges. And if you start thinking about the Obama Justice Department, with Loretta Lynch at its head, formerly headed by Eric Holder, the most credible person in the whole place that anybody's ever heard of is James Comey of the FBI. And it's not too much to suggest here, it seems to me, Megan, that he has placed his credibility at the service of what he knew would be the ultimate outcome of this case once it was referred to the Justice Department. And in that sense, he did this administration, this Attorney General, and perhaps it's not unfair to say Hillary Clinton a very great service, although, as I say, he did blow up her whole network of lies that she told over time. Basically what he said is she did everything short of a crime and then lied about it all the way.
While she was being investigated. I don't know if she lied to him, but she repeatedly told the American people a bunch of nonsense.
Well, that's true.
The FBI investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email setup is now closed. But scrutiny around the arrangement is renewed tonight as we learn Clinton's former chief of staff, Cheryl Mills, was given limited immunity in exchange for her cooperation in the now closed FBI investigation. The news that 5 key players, including Clinton aides, got this immunity is infuriating some on Capitol Hill.
Faith at a rapid pace in the FBI. I thought this was going to be a serious investigation, but the way they handed out immunity agreements, the fact that they let Hillary Clinton's chief of staff to be also a witness, an immunity recipient, and sit in on Hillary Clinton's interview is just shameful.
The remaining deals went to Clinton IT specialist Brian Pagliano, who set up the server, Clinton aide Heather Samuelson, who sorted through the emails, deciding what was government business and what could be destroyed, Paul Combetta of Colorado-based Platte River Networks, who used BleachBit technology to electronically shred the Clinton email archive despite a preservation order, and the State Department's John Bentel, silent subordinates, voicing concern about Clinton's email practices.
Physically, where were Hillary Clinton's servers?
The operational server was in the basement of her home in New York. The reason I'm answering it that way is sometimes after they were decommissioned, they were moved to other facilities, storage facilities, but the live device was always in the basement.
Was that an authorized or unauthorized location?
It was an unauthorized location for the transmitting of classified information.
Is it reasonable or unreasonable to expect Hillary Clinton would receive and send classified information?
As Secretary of State, reasonable that the Secretary of State would encounter classified information in the course of the Secretary's work.
Via email?
Sure, depending upon the nature of the system. To communicate classified information would have to be a classified rated email system.
But you did find more than 100 emails that were classified that had gone through that server, correct?
Right, through an unclassified server, correct.
Yes. So Hillary Clinton did come to possess documents and materials containing classified information via email on these unsecured servers, correct?
That is correct.
Did Hillary Clinton lie?
To the FBI? We have no basis to conclude she lied to the FBI.
Did she lie to the public?
That's a question I'm not qualified to answer. I can speak about what she said to the FBI.
Did Hillary Clinton lie under oath?
Not to the FBI, not in a case we're working.
Did you review the documents where Congressman Jim Jordan asked her specifically, and she said, quote, "There was nothing marked classified on my emails, either sent or received," end quote?
I don't remember reviewing that particular testimony. I'm aware of that being said, though.
Did the FBI investigate her statements under oath on this topic?
Not to my knowledge. I don't think there's been a referral from Congress.
Do you need a referral from Congress to investigate her statements under oath?
Sure do.
You'll have one. You'll have one in the next few hours. Did Hillary Clinton do anything wrong?
And what do you mean by wrong?
I think it's self-evident.
Well, I'm a lawyer, I'm an investigator, and hope a normal human being.
Do you really believe there should be no consequence for Hillary Clinton and how she dealt with this?
Well, I didn't say, I hope folks remember what I said on Tuesday. I didn't say there's no consequence for someone who violates the rules regarding the handling of classified information. There are often very severe consequences in the FBI involving their employment, involving their pay, involving their clearances. That's what I said on Tuesday, and I hope folks walk away understanding that just because someone's not prosecuted for mishandling classified information, that doesn't mean if you work in the FBI, there aren't consequences for it.
So if Hillary Clinton, or if anybody, had worked at the FBI under this fact pattern, what would you do to that person?
There would be a security review and an adjudication of their suitability, and a range of discipline could be imposed from termination to reprimand, and in between suspensions, loss of clearance. So you could be walked out, or you could, depending on the nature of the facts, you could be reprimanded. But there is a robust process to handle that.
Our first and only item for consideration today is a resolution and a report recommending that the House of Representatives find Brian Pagliano in contempt of Congress for refusal to comply with a subpoena duly issued by the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. The clerk will designate the report.
Oh, they're getting religion now at the Clinton Foundation, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but, you know, after you've robbed every bank and 7-Eleven in town, what is there to do? You retire. You've got all the money. They've already shaken down every foreign government, every big corporation to say, oh, we're not going to take any more money. Well, big whoopee deal. What are you going to do with all you got?
Didn't even say that.
Her comments displayed the same sense of arrogance and entitlement that led her to violate federal law as Secretary of State, hide and delete her emails. I mean, think 33,000 emails, and that's just one batch. It's a lot of wedding talk. It's a lot of wedding talk. Put classified information in the reach of our enemies, lie to Congress, and sell government favors and access through the Clinton Foundation. It's this attitude of arrogance that explains why Hillary Clinton made 13 phones disappear, including with a hammer.
And you can't miss this. I put Hillary's methods to the test. See, I got a big hammer as justice rolls on.
So the FBI couldn't see them, and why she bleached her emails after a congressional subpoena. That's after the subpoena came. This isn't before. That's after the subpoena came. Now the people who destroyed the emails are all pleading the Fifth Amendment in front of Congress today. And will anything happen? That's going to be the question. We'll find out. That Hillary Clinton's actions are far more corrupt than we ever imagined. It's happened today. This is far bigger and a far bigger scandal than Watergate ever was. But with Watergate, we had justice. We had a Justice Department that went after the people. Here's something that just nobody's ever seen anything like this, folks. What we're witnessing is a first. We've never, ever seen anything like this. This is a scandal that threatens national security and that involves a multi-million-dollar pay-for-play scheme between the Secretary of State and her foundation.